Hello and welcome to this overview on the Invasive Species Management Training course. A little bit of background and purpose for this course is that I developed the Invasive Species Management Training course in response to the growing threat that invasive species pose on Florida's environment. In 2020, I published an article in the Florida Historical Quarterly about the history of exotic pet keeping and its relationship to the invasive species crisis. And one thing I realized while researching is that through the 20th century, exotic pet owners had a clear knowledge gap about the risk that negligent exotic pet keeping can pose to the environment. Now, governmental and environmental agencies agree that education and awareness is the best form of prevention for human-introduced invasive species. And so this presentation is an attempt at raising the awareness of this issue. Because the purpose of this course is to raise awareness of an issue that affects everyone, the content in this course is appropriate for all ages, though due to the nature of the questions and academic rigor of the material, I would recommend users to be at least 16 years old to take this course. These users should have some experience with using an LMS or e-learning modules, though that isn't necessary. No familiarity of the topic is necessary, though I imagine many users will have some knowledge of the topic because this course is aimed at Florida residents. Lastly, this course can be taken anywhere with internet access, ideally on a computer rather than a phone or tablet. Here are the learning objectives for the course. For time's sake, I'm not going to read all of them here, but we will talk about them a little bit more individually on the next slide where we talk about alignment. So for the assessments and activities I have in the course, I have three types. One is a discussion, next is research, and then lastly are the standard knowledge checks and quizzes that go throughout the course. First, to talk about discussions, these discussion boards assess on learning objectives 1, 3, and 4. If we go back to my learning objectives, that is where we identify what an invasive species is, we identify a pathway of invasion, and then we talk about the effect of the invasive species on the habitat or the environment. And so here, learning objective 2, this is built into module 1 and is covered in the knowledge check here. And so I'm not looking for it in our discussion boards, just those kind of big ideas. For research, that is all built into one assignment at the end of the course. It is not a research paper, but just a research assignment where students will fill out a template that I have created based on an invasive species in South Florida, particularly the Everglades, of their choosing. And so again, these cover 1, 3, and 4 because we're only focusing on the invasive species here, not the other type of species. And so here they'll identify an invasive species, they'll determine how it entered Florida, and they will assess the effects of this species presence on the environment. Then as I said earlier, the knowledge checks will cover all LOs, including learning objective 2, and all course content is assessed in the end of module knowledge checks as well as the end of course comprehensive quiz. For engagement strategies, because I have adult learners in mind, I tried to adhere to some classic andragogical principles. Above all, I wanted this course to do two things for the learner. First, to draw on real-life prior experience and knowledge, and second is to be self-directed. The posts all elicit the learner to connect the module content with their own lives, regardless of location or other personal factors. And when learners log into the course, they will see that all the content is accessible and unlocked. This is important for adult learners to look ahead and create a bigger picture of the learning experience. And for the research assignment, they have liberty to choose their own subject and information by their discretion. Now, lastly, I use the OSCQR rubric to evaluate my course. I was happy to see that I had met a lot of the criteria, but realized that there was a lot of front matter and administrative things that I was missing, such as a course navigation instructions, a syllabus, and other technological, administrative, and even accessibility things, such as alt text and copyright information, which I am adding now. Anyway, thank you for watching my presentation, and I hope you're looking forward to seeing the final product. Thank you.